Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at Lee Westwood's golf swing. Now, Lee is one of the most consistent players for the past 2 decades now. He has a very compact, good golf swing, one that I think a lot of us could learn a lot from. He's an incredible ball striker, both with irons and with driver. He, is just such a solid all-round player. The only thing that maybe occasionally lets him down a little bit is probably his putting. But obviously, let's take a look at his golf swing. He's been playing so incredibly well recently that I think it really deserves a really good look. We're going to have a look at his iron swing first, and then we're going to have a look at his driver swing. So here we have Lee set up with an iron. First of all, setup position. He's a little bit rounded in the upper back. Probably something he's just done for, he's an old player on tour now in terms of tour standards. So probably just something he's done for a long time. A little bit rounded in the shoulders. Good bend in the knees and everything. Lee is a fader of the golf ball, if you don't know this. His stock shot is pretty much, I would say, 80% of the shots he hits are probably going from left to right. So really he's looking to kind of maybe start this ball a touch left of where he's aiming and, just have it fade back onto the target a little bit. But, he can move the ball right to left, but predominantly likes to fade it. So all of his alignment is set up for that, basically. He's aiming kind of pretty straight, good neutral alignment. Everything's in order as you would expect. So let's take the club back. We're going to pause it slowly. If we pause it parallel to the ground, good position here, pretty kind of standard, classic, old school position. Not like a huge amount of kind of like a more modern position, for example, would be a bit more width. You can see Lee has already started to set the wrists a little bit. A more modern position would be maybe to have, if we talk about Bryson, for example, super late wrist set and keeps the club a little bit more square with his spine angle. As you can see, Lee's club is a little bit open to his spine angle, but remember, Lee is a fader of the golf ball, so when he is coming into impact, he really wants that club face to be a bit open. So that's a really important thing to note. If you're a drawer of the golf ball, when you're coming in to out, you need the club face to be closed to your swing plane. With Lee, he needs it to be open. He doesn't want to be hitting pull hooks. So a little bit open. Let's take it slowly to the top. Starts to bend that right arm. As he takes it to the top, wrists hinge. And if we pause it at the top, pretty good position overall, really good wrist position, pretty good arm structure. One of the things, the thing I love probably most about this position, we can see how he's resisting into the ground. He's really coiling up and he's generating a lot of power and tension by coiling that spine up, really winding up and resisting against the ground, and that's going to allow him to then deliver back down onto the golf ball with a lot of pressure being put onto the ball. That's why he's such a good ball striker. One thing I maybe wouldn't recommend with this position, his right arm is quite deep. I have before tried this arm structure for my golf swing and I found it just got my arms too deep. I struggled to get my arms back out in front of my body. So maybe something to bear in mind if you do get into that position, if you do struggle with coming over the top of it or getting your arms stuck behind you or early extending, that could be a reason why, if you're not getting those arms back out in front of you. If we think of someone more like Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Jon Rahm, these guys keep their arms in front of their body pretty much the whole time throughout the swing. Makes it just a little bit easier on the downswing to get your arms back out in front of you. So let's start the downswing now. As he starts to swing down, club shaft shallows a little bit. If we pause it parallel to the ground again. Now, it's a good position. Most good coaches, when they're talking about good ball strikers, really look for that triangle of daylight between the arms and the body at this position, and you can quite clearly see that here is such a good example of that with Lee. He doesn't obviously shallow out the shaft a huge amount. Again, he's a fader of the golf ball, so he's going to be coming across it a little bit. He's going to be coming a little bit steeper down onto the golf ball than, you know, maybe someone like Matthew Wolff. But really good triangle of daylight there. You can see how much, you know, he's maintaining his spine angle, which is really, really, really important. Not a huge amount of squat in the legs, not kind of pressing into the ground too much in this position here. He doesn't have too much rotation. If we slowly play this through to impact, not a huge amount of rotation there. Shoulders and hips slightly open to the target, but, you know, not a huge amount. Definitely not a really rotational golf swing, but we can see he's kind of holding that face open as we slowly take it to the finish. You know, he doesn't really let that club face roll over, which is really how he's developed such consistent ball flight and been such a consistent player. Now let's take a look at Lee with the driver, because Lee is one of the best drivers of the golf ball, and, you know, it is pretty awesome seeing him hit drivers. He is absolutely so consistent, even when he's been playing so well these last few weeks, up there every single week under pressure on tour. You know, some of his putts haven't looked the best, but he's been so solid hitting fairways with the driver. So again, Lee likes to hit a fade, so he's going to want to see that ball set off slightly to the left and work its way back. So again, we need to bear in mind that when we're talking about Lee's swing. So with the driver, set up position, really good. Legs are a lot straighter, spine's a lot more upright. I'd say his posture is slightly better, still a bit rounded in the upper back and shoulders. As he starts to take the club away, he takes the club away quite outside and keeps the face quite open. If we pause it parallel to the ground, club is outside the hands here. He has a bit more width in this position with the driver than he did with the irons, but still starting to set the wrists a little bit. Now he's going to fold that right elbow, and the wrists are going to start to hinge more as he's coiling up. Look how he's coiling up against the ground as we pause it at the top. Really good position. I mean, pretty much the same as with the irons. He's probably got a slightly longer swing. The arms are a little bit deeper. That left arm is really across his body, and that right arm is pretty deep in behind him. Again, I would warn slightly just to be a bit careful not to get too deep in this position. It's kind of a little bit hard to get out of it sometimes. But Lee does a really good job. We can see how he's coiled up into the ground. Lots of resistance with the legs. As he starts to swing down, I love how he keeps the width with the arms here. We can see right arm, you know, is tucked into the side, but actually it's not too bent. He's creating a lot of width. Shaft is shallowing. As he comes down, if we pause it parallel to the ground, again, beautiful triangle of daylight. Not a huge amount of rotation, but good spine angle, and everything has been maintained. As he comes down into the golf ball, he is coming across the golf ball, obviously, with a slightly open club face. So this ball, if we pause it at impact, you know, again, not huge amount of rotation or anything there. Definitely not really a modern golf swing as you would kind of look at it. But as we take it through to the finish, we're going to see this ball set off to the left and it would cut back. And as Lee comes through to the finish, you know, doesn't let that club face rotate over too much. Holds the face open beautifully. Now we're going to take a look at one more swing of Lee's, which I absolutely love because it has an absolutely awesome shot tracer on it. And it looks so sick. It's such a good look to see of Lee's golf swing. So here we go. This is actually, I believe this is at St Andrews or somewhere up in Scotland, and we have an awesome club tracer to look at on the golf ball here. So as Lee takes the club away, obviously we're not quite as down the line with this view, so just bear that in mind. As Lee takes the club away, beautiful takeaway. I love from this position, you can really see the swing plane, how just consistent it is, how good it is. To the top is so simple, just in a dead straight line basically. Then as he shallows out, drops the club underneath the plane as he comes down to impact, holding that face open. And it's such a beautiful look at his swing. Let's take it back, have a look at one more, just play it through from the top one more time. It's such a good look. If you want to copy a swing plane, this is a pretty good look to copy. You know, it's just perfectly on plane, just a perfect swing plane to the top as he takes it away, beautifully wide, then shaft shallows, drops underneath, and because he's a fader, he's going to be cutting slightly across the ball with an open club face and doesn't let the club rotate over, doesn't let the club face close. He's holding that open the whole time. So Lee has a pretty incredible golf swing, super consistent. We can see from those things why he's such a good ball striker, but let's briefly talk about why he's been doing so well on tour lately, because there are a few really important things that I've heard Lee talk about in his interviews lately, which I think as golfers, you know, we could definitely apply to ourselves. Lee talks a lot about, like, obviously he's already had a great career. He hasn't won a major, but he's won tournaments all over the world, Ryder Cupper for the last 20 years, and, you know, he's already had a successful career. So he's talked about going out there and just playing as if he has nothing to lose, because he knows he's already had a good career. He actually kind of sacked off his full-time caddy, and he's been having his girlfriend and also his son caddying for him. You know, I think his son probably is into golf, but apparently his girlfriend doesn't really know a huge amount about golf. So apparently he's been doing like all of his own yardages and everything basically, which is quite interesting, and interesting to see he's doing so well with it. But basically he's just going out there and just playing golf, having fun, and putting no pressure on himself. Now, obviously, when he comes down to those last few holes and he's 1 or 2 off the lead, or he's tied for the lead, obviously there's going to be pressure on him. It doesn't matter what your mindset is. It doesn't matter, you know, if you said at the beginning of the week, oh, I don't care if I miss the cut or if I win. Obviously, you're going to start to care when you're tied for the lead with a hole or 2 holes to play. So, obviously, there is going to be some pressure there. But going out there to play like he has nothing to lose, I think, is something that all of us should be really thinking about our own games. You know, we're not professional golfers. We don't have the pressure these guys have to support our families to go out and play and really make cuts and make money. Otherwise, we're going to lose money. Otherwise, we could lose our PGA Tour card. We could lose our whole livelihoods, everything we've worked for. We don't have that when we go out and play on the golf course. And I think that's a really important mindset to have for ourselves. Don't put pressure on yourself. Go out there, play like you have nothing to lose. Have fun, enjoy it. Yeah, if you come down to the last few holes and you're on a good run, and you know, you might know you're tied for the lead in a tournament, or you might just know you could beat your best score. Obviously, you might feel a few butterflies. You might feel a little bit of pressure. But just kind of, and I'm not saying play like you don't care. I'm not saying don't focus on every shot. I'm not saying don't line up every putt. I'm just saying, if you miss that putt, if you don't hit that fairway, if you don't shoot your best round, it's not the end of the world. We don't have anything to lose by going out there and playing and enjoying golf. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video. Loads more videos coming soon. Just dropped a video before this, chasing golf balls around with an 100 miles per hour racing drone. So if you haven't seen that video, highly recommend checking it out on my channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and grip it and rip it.